Welcome back, everybody. Today's review is going to be one for a film called The Haunting Lover. What I have here is a VCD copy of the film, which means you need a disc drive to actually watch it. But there is like DVD copies of it out there, and Blu-rays, I think. What's cool about this VCD is there's actually a spelling mistake on the spine here. It says The Haunting Lovers, but on the cover it actually says The Haunting Lover. The actual title is just The Haunting Lover, and same on the CD here, same kind of thing. This film was made in mainland China. The last review was on a Hong Kong film that had more horror elements to it, you could say, and it felt more graphic. Now this one takes the form of more of a kind of a toned down ghost story. The quality of the actual film is not that great because, well, it's on a CD. This film is about a young man who's down on his luck, is overjoyed when he's given a job working in the factory of a major medical company. He soon finds he was hired because he resembles the factory owner's missing son. The opening montage of the film doesn't really give you any clues as to what the film is about. It's odd, and it kind of feels like the quality of the shots is more from like the 90s. Once the narration starts, the montage that opens up the film makes a little bit more sense. The narration fits well with the individual shots that it has. Red is an important color of the film, and it stands out because all the other colors are almost muted. The color overall seems old school, like I said, like dull, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. The visual effects do feel a bit dated for a film from the 2010s. The editing and the drawn out scenes make it feel like it's a 90s TV movie. Something like an adult version of, I'd say, Goosebumps, or a feature-length version of an individual story from the aforementioned Tales from the Dark Side. The writing and the story of the film is really good, and it has a few good twists in the film that not many people are going to be expecting. The scares could be better, but the focus of this film is more on drama and the romantic themes, which is, I would say, common to have like this kind of style with mainland Chinese films, horror or otherwise, just because of, I think, the censorship that they have there, stuff like that. It doesn't make them a bad film. It just makes, I guess, filmmakers get creative with how they achieve certain things. The horror element seems to be coming from the idea slash concept of resisting fate, which could very well be a metaphor for other ideals that I won't get into. You as the audience can probably fit the pieces together of where this movie is set and what I'm trying to hint at here. While chances are that's not what it is, it's just an interesting theory about it. It's beautifully shot to convey each element of the story. Despite it feeling like a 90s movie, it does have pretty cool shots and stuff like that. So if you remember in the Keeper of Darkness review, I talked about Cher, the tear transition scene. This film has a similar moment, but it's not as graphic. There's a character named Fu Rong. Well, my theory is that it implies the idea that those who suffer an unjust death would return as ghosts. It might be this movie that implies that idea. The color palette reminds me heavily of another Chinese film that was very traditional. It's called Raise the Red Lantern. Just a similar tone, like you could watch both of these back to back and they'd be good companion films to each other. While investigating the disappearance of Chang Guang, Lung Kuang begins to transition between himself and the belief that he is. It's very weird because like later on it's, I guess, revealed that it's almost as if it's a possession, but it's not explicitly stated as a possession. The plot just gets confusing after the main character returns from Singapore, and it transitions from a more horror drama mix to a drama mystery film with the reveal of corporate espionage and the murders associated with a search for the herbal oil secret ingredient. Confusing. And there's a flashback scene which I found is a very common element of Asian films, more so than North American films, and it's typically in the same spot in an Asian film. I'll probably get into more about this in a video describing the differences that I've noticed between Hong Kong and mainland China film. It reveals that the movie up until the fight with Uncle Chow, it might have been in Liang Guang's mind, the main character, the entire time. That's when it's revealed, like the possession angle. It was a way for Fu Rong, Chang Guang, to get justice for Zhang's death by the uncle. It's revealed that the spirit of missing son is revealed to be living on through his diary, which is interesting. It was packed with a bunch of stuff that works well for the story, but when you look at it piece by piece, it's like, how did this even work? I did enjoy the film. I would recommend it if you get a chance to see it. You can buy a physical copy of it. You probably can get like DVDs and stuff of it from those two sites I mentioned previously in the last review, Yes Asia and Buy Yo-Yo. But it was well acted. Both films were well acted. This one has more of a happy ending rather than the open-endedness that Keeper of Darkness ended on, which is a nice change because I've noticed that a lot of the Asian horror films that I've seen, they don't exactly end on a positive note, which is also a nice change of pace from the North American movies, which 99% of the time they have a happy ending. I would probably give this a 9. I do recommend it for like if you want a different, like if you just want a ghost story that not too scary and focuses on different elements more. Check it out if you can find a copy of it. The only thing probably to add is I guess there's a famous singer in this, the male lead, Dēng Zhú. Probably that's the biggest name in the film. Hope you enjoyed this review and like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more and see you in the next one.